Hello and welcome back to Minstead Trust Day Opportunities Online Provision. Today we've got a follow-on or a precursor, depending on which video goes up first, to John's Weed Ident video that you have either seen or will see shortly. So, we're looking at pressing flowers. At this time of year there are hundreds and hundreds of small, beautiful, often weed flowers that are just nice for making into pressings, which once you've pressed them and dried them, you have to leave them for 3-4 weeks so they're fully dry and fully flat. You can get them out and you can put them on cards, you can make lampshades with them, there's all sorts of things you can do with them. So we're going to look at an easy way of doing it. Obviously, if you happen to have a proper flower press or something similar, it's much easier, but we're working on what you're probably going to have at home, which is a whole lot of books. So that's our toolkit: books, paper, scrap paper ideally, scissors, and of course you need to get a selection of flowers. And I always try and press a few leaves as well, because then you've got some green and some colour and it all fits together nicely. You can't, with books, press any old flowers. So for instance, if we have a look at this daisy close up, this daisy has a very fat, fleshy head that is just too hard and too full of moisture to press flat. And if you put it in your flower pressing, anything else you press with it won't work, it won't go flat, it probably won't dry out, and it'll probably go mouldy. So we're going to forget about those and concentrate on flowers more like this, that have very fine, this one's quite a deep trumpet shape, but it has very little body to the back of the flower, which means it will press really well. This one similarly has a little bit more, this is a buttercup, bit more body to the centre, but it's probably fine enough to press properly. So let's have a look. We'll put some colours in. We've got a lot of pinks, some white, a lot of yellow, and a little bit of red. Now I'm thinking it's probably wrong, and don't tell John. I think we're going to steal a few little flowers from his marvellous collection over here, because he's not around and he's never going to know unless Vicky happens to tell him. We need a few, I think we need some reds over here, some hot lips. So we'll pick just a nice one where he's not going to notice. Snip. Oh yes, that's perfect. We'll have maybe 2 of those, I think, because it's nice to have pairs. When you're going to make a card later, it's nice to have pairs because you can put one up one side of the card, one up the other side of the card. You can make it arty, which is not my forte. Let's go for, oh, I think that'll go nicely. That's beautiful. It's a little bit wet, but we'll snip that off because look at the detail on that flower. All those veins in the pink. Beautiful. That'll press gorgeous. What else should we take? Before he comes back, we better not take his dianthus. There's not many flowers on that. Oh, here we go, look. Just a little one of those. That should go nicely. John will be able to tell you what all these plants are. Unfortunately, well, you'll have to get him to tell you. Maybe he'll do the making a card bit, the other end of this video, in 3 weeks' time. So, you've got your plants, you've got your book. You want to open your book near the base of the book, so you've got room for a couple of layers. Stick a sheet of scrap paper, ideally, into the page like that, and then you want to arrange a mix of your flowers on the page. And you don't want lots and lots of body and leaf and stem. You don't need all of this stem, but you might want these 2 little leaves there to make it pretty. So we're going to snip that off. And what we really want to do is try, and it's not always possible, and make it so that it sits so the flowers main body faces up or down, but so that's flat, so we're not squishing it. As you'll see with the hot lips, there's some dead flowers on here, so we can just take them off gently. And there's some unopened flowers. They'll be quite fat, they might not press very well, so we'll take them off too. And there's one dead-headed end of flower there, so we'll clip that off. And we're going to, this is impossible to lay out nicely like that. So we're happy, I think, to lay it out as best we can. We might squish it a little bit so that it sits right when the other paper flattens it out. Okay, I think that might work. Squish it down a bit. Right, let's see what we've got. John would reliably tell you the names of everything, but I can tell you that this is Oxalis, because John told me a little while ago. Okay, here we go. I think with this we've got lots of little flower heads here. They're not going to press very well, they're young, they're fleshy. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to just snip out the actual heads and just do them like that. I'm thinking, oh, I'm dripping sweat on the page. This is not a good plan. It's very, very hot today on the day of filming, I'd just like to point out. Another one like that. Again, these are really hard to lay flat, but they'll still make a beautiful trumpet shape, and you'll get a lot of the colour laid on their sides. You don't want them to overlap or touch, because you want them to dry onto the paper nicely. There's some of those. We've got these little beautiful, I think this is a vetch. John may be able to tell you better, but I think it's a vetch. We're going to lay that one just as it is, because that'll just make a crispy spray of flowers. And I have got a tiny little tiny blue flowers that I'm not sure if they'll press, but the beauty of flower pressing is you can chuck them in and see what happens, and if it doesn't work, try some other flowers. But I'm hoping these will work because they're so delicate. So that's quite a lot for one page. As I say, it's nice to put some leaves in because they make good decoration for your card, and brilliantly they stay green when you press them. So we'll put a few leaves in for that page to make some fill. It's worth picking leaves that are, you know, don't have any mould or any bugs. Stick them in. That, if you have a look here, that's probably a good full page. That will work. And at this point, we're going to take another sheet of paper. We're going to drop it on top carefully. And then we're going to turn the page of the book and turn the book over. Now, obviously, at this stage, they're not being pressed very much, but we may want to add another page. So we'll leave a few pages in our book and stick another page down. Might leave a few more pages, I think. That's it. Stick another page down. Then we can go through and take some of our other flowers. Here we have a gorgeous poppy. Again, this one has a bit of a fleshy head in the centre. So with this, it's quite easy to snip out that heavy bit, and that means that it will press much, much better. So if you can see, it's not so easy. Get right down into the middle and just go snip. And then that really heavy beginning of a seed pod is gone, and the flower will press beautifully. So to get the best out of a poppy, we're going to snip the flower off as one piece and try and get it to press open, because that will just be magic. So we're going to squish it down. Move quickly, because once you've cut it, it starts feeling sad, it starts like bleeding like sap. So again, we're going to snip out that pod. Ooh, Oh dear. Don't snip the leaves, the petals off. It's really sad when you do that. And then you have to cheat, but you can cheat. Let me show you. If you accidentally snip a petal off, in the drying process, I'm pretty sure, to be honest I'm making it up slightly, but I have a strong feeling that that will stick to the others if we just pop it back in there like that, and then when we press it flat it'll stick to the other bit and everything will be fine. I hope. Here we have bindweed, common bindweed, gardener's bane. We used to call them grandmother pop out of bed when I was a kid, because if you squish the end they pop out. So we're going to chuck that in, probably just leave that like a trumpet. Nice to have some white. We'll pop in the last one of these because that will go lovely. Take out those bits, take out the dead, take out the young flowers so that you've just got those nice light fleshy flowers. Pop that in. Really good one that people use a lot, presses really nicely and just looks very decorative, is ivy. Everybody has ivy. Quite often find it's got things on it, so brush it off a little bit. You can find perfect ivy leaves, but then it doesn't look real. I quite like the odd ones, the ones that are quite the right shape, because you know they're real ivy leaves then. A few of them. And we might try some of this. It's called hop trefoil. It's got tiny, tiny little beautiful delicate flowers and really nice threefold leaves. So we're just going to try it. I don't know if it'll work, but that's the joy of flower pressing. You find out in 3 weeks' time whether all your hard work has been okay or whether you picked the wrong plant. One more. And that's a pretty good full page there, I'd say. So again, got some different leaves, some different colours, some different shapes, and when we come to make cards or decorations, we'll have lots of different things to play with. So again, we're going to put our paper gently on top. Make sure we come down gently. We're going to slide it in to the very corner of the book and close that book. Boom. Now, one book is not nearly heavy enough to press these flowers and make sure that they're properly flat and properly dry. So we want as many heavy, big books as we can possibly get. And we want them to press down. Ideally, if you've got a paperback at the bottom, which I have, you want a hardback to make sure that you get an even press over the whole thing, because otherwise you might find that some of the edges aren't so heavily pressed on. So we're going to pile up and pile up and pile up, and if that was me, I'm going to go and find a few more books to pile up on top of this still, so that and we can give it a squish, and over the next 3 weeks they will dry, all the moisture will soak into the paper, the colours stay really bright and beautiful, and we'll see what comes out and what works in 3 or 4 weeks' time. So thank you for watching our video. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and please don't tell John about his flowers. Thank you. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Goodbye.